Morning. I'm getting ready to clean up my art room and turn it back into a guest room next week because we're having some friends come and stay with us for a few days. So I've got to clean up all of my paper painting mess that I have spread out all over the bed. Just a minute. So, excuse me. Well, that was just really nice. Slurp, choke. Now if I could just burp on film, my morning will be complete. Okay, anyway, I wanted to show my painted papers before I get everything put away. I guess I'll just do like a flip through and show you. They're all done with acrylic paints of all kinds, from the cheapest, you know, Apple Barrel on clearance at Walmart craft paint, all the way up to Liquitex, and there's even a couple of golden acrylics that I don't even know where I got because I certainly don't buy them. They're too expensive. Anyway, so I think almost all of them were done with no brushes. I just use my favorite palette knife is an old credit card or a hotel room key or gift card, you know, any of those kinds of things. That's what I usually use, or just my hands. Those make good brushes too. So here we go. Some of them I've done front and back, some just on one side, and I don't know why I don't do front and back on all of them or just one-sided on all of them. I just do whatever strikes my fancy. Most of them are done on magazine pages, and these are some large, heavy paper, good glossy magazines. They're really not magazines. They're those, you know, like if you're moving to a new town and you send off to their Chamber of Commerce or whatever for information, they'll sometimes send you these magazine type books full of information on their city. And before we moved here to Houston, we actually thought we were moving to Katy. We ended up in Cypress. But I sent off for stuff from Katy, and I mean, they sent tons of just really great stuff. And I've been able to reuse a whole bunch of it. It makes excellent papers to paint on. I also have in here just some paper out of my computer, regular computer paper, you know, that is scrap. So anyhow, let's just flip, shall we? I usually try to make a couple of pages that are similar. I don't ever try to get them identical, but you know, with the same colors, because nothing irritates me more than to get halfway into a project and I love this paper and I want to use it and I don't have enough. So I make two just so that I'll have enough if I'm working on a bigger project. Okay, I gotta make sure that you can see. Am I in the frame? I put little pieces of tape on my table to mark where the camera frame is, but okay, sometimes I don't get them quite right. Here we go. And it is morning, and I don't do mornings, so I really can't be held responsible for the stupid things that I say. Just so you know. And I guess I've been doing this for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. And I try to do at least a little bit every day. Sometimes I'll use texture tools and rubber stamps, but most of the time it's really just paint. That has a lot of rubber stamps on it, and I love this look. This is my favorite look right here, the really tons of layers and stamping and paint and texture, and you know, there's just so much going on it's hard to even isolate one thing. And this is my favorite look, but it's also the most tedious to do, for me anyway. Yeah, by the time I got through with the front of this one, no way I was making the back the same. So I did a plain back. And these are great, you know, to do like this with a plain back and a more decorated front, because that makes a really good book cover. Because you can use the outside for the cover, and then this is like, you know, the end papers. I did a lot of those, didn't I? Bright colors. More muted. have a lot of really pastel-y color paints. I have a few, but I like pastel-y colors, so I'll sometimes just use my really dark, bright paints and then paint over it with a lighter color wash to mute it down a little bit. That was a texture tool. You can use an old comb, you know, hair comb thing. I don't know where I got that texture tool. I'm sure I got it at a craft store somewhere at some point. Check Michaels or Hobby Lobby in the aisle where all the craft paint is, and you might find they have these. I wish I'd have brought mine down here, but I didn't. It's like a little rubber thing, and the four sides of it have different, it's cut so that each side makes a different texture. That was some stamping, and that I think was a piece of hardware cloth, you know, that wire mesh stuff that I sponge painted through. If you can see that circle, I think that's in one of the videos I did, and it's an empty plastic thread spool. I know you're wondering, what is she going to do with all those papers? Well, guess what? She has no clue. But she's got them when she needs them. They're here. I love this. I like the colors are kind of random and don't make sense, which is my favorite. And then you can see a little bit of the magazine print through it. That makes me happy. This, I think, yes, this has some collage paper strips on it before I painted it. So it's heavy and it has lots of texture going on. I love that. You just need to feel this because it feels good. And that was some more collage and then paint. And that was on one of those postcard things that you get. And, you know, I really need to catch on. You would think after all this time I would catch on. I film these videos upside down and then flip them in a photo editor. So, you know, my camera is in front of me. So every time I show you something, I turn it around because this is the way the camera's facing. But I forget that I am going to flip everything so that it's right side up. So, yeah, I'm an idiot. More stamping. Uh-oh. Do you hear him? Yeah, the cat saw me. Yeah, he's still around. He's still meowing. We still love on him every day. Haven't fed him. Kind of reluctant to claim him, but okay, he's been living at my house for, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. I don't know. I don't know what to do about him. This one, yeah, that one has some strips of paper collaged on there first. I really like these colors too. I love the, you know, the warm kind of reddy orangey. Actually, that's kind of a cool red, but the red and orange with the blue and purple, and then some really kind of mint green. Those are not really colors that you would pick to go together to make a color palette. But they work, especially when they're applied in a really random way like this. I think this kind of junky, random application of paint makes it look like all of the colors go together. Okay, he moved to another window and has a better view of me now. So we're just going to tune that screaming out. I'll go low on him here in a minute. This is one of my favorites too. I love this. See, see, I did these two very similarly, and then I glued this one onto the back of this one, which had a plain back, so that I've got a book cover or whatever. These are also random colors that just ended up looking great. I think all colors go together, I'm just convinced. I haven't found any that don't work. I like that one too because it's got, what I did, I glued I think it was a dictionary page onto the middle of the magazine paper, then started painting over it. So you can kind of see some of the text peeking through. Well, this one I did two separate sheets that were kind of similar and then just glued them back to back. Some of these I have sealed with just a thin layer of Mod Podge. Some I have not. I will usually seal them before I do anything with them, just in case, you know, I want to glue something on top, because if I use a wet glue, it can sometimes lift some of the paints, especially if there's like a watercolor on here. So I usually will end up sealing them just to protect them. This was another one of those big advertising postcards that you get in the mail. And that's it. This thing on the bottom is just a Tyvek envelope. We used to do this, you know, back in the day. That I just painted and then heat it with a heat gun, and then it gets all weird. And I'll probably just use that for an embellishment on something, but I think it's cool. But, you know, and you shouldn't go to the post office and steal their free Tyvek envelopes, because they tend to frown on that, even though that's kind of what I did. But, you know, you're not supposed to do that, so actually either buy Tyvek envelopes, or you know what, you can get those Tyvek, you can get an entire Tyvek suit in the paint department at the hardware store. If I remember right, they're not real expensive. I'm thinking maybe $10. But it's full, long sleeve, you know, what do you call it? Coveralls. Yeah, coveralls. That's a lot of Tyvek. You know, that's a whole body's worth of Tyvek. So that would be a good bargain, because you get a whole bunch, and you can just cut off whatever size you need, and then you don't steal from the government. And that's always a good thing. Here's a book I did. This is one of those postcard things that I painted and just made a little junk journal and just sewed the pages into the cover. Real simple. But it makes a nice little, you know, day book journal thing. So I'm going to make some more of those. And another thing that I've been doing did I do a video? I don't even know. I think I talked about it. I probably posted it on Facebook. But I've been putting strips of tape onto a piece of freezer paper, and then I use this on my work area, and when I'm painting my backgrounds or my papers here, you know, I just paint, and then all the extra paint gets all over the strips of tape on my freezer paper here, right? See, I already did this. You can use both sides of the freezer paper. This was the shiny side, and I put strips of tape on it. In fact, I did probably 2 or 3 batches on this side, and decided to turn over here. And the tape will peel up. You have to kind of hit it with your heat gun a little bit, but then it will lift. Can you see? It will lift. It won't stick too bad. And this is a really sticky, it's an artist tape, which is kind of like a masking tape. I like it because it's white. But you can use artist tape, you can use masking tape, you can use painter's tape, you can use any kind of paper tape, anything will work. But anyway, you just, you know, lay it out in strips, and I tear it into strips that will fit in my book, my washi tape book. Then when they get all, painty and wonderful, you peel them off. You put them in your washi tape book. We all have a washi tape book, don't we? Yeah, we have a washi tape book of some kind. This is mine. This is some of the background tapes that I just did, and these are other ones that I had done before. But by putting the tape on the freezer paper like that and painting over it, you can get a lot of cool washi tape done with almost no effort and in a very short amount of time. I know probably all you can hear is that crinkly sound, but it's my favorite. I love crinkly paper sounds. So I'll try not to talk while I turn pages so, we can all enjoy the crinkling. Those are pretty. Nice, huh? So, you get you a bunch of washi tape made up like that, and then you can do stuff with it. I don't really know what. I've got this going on. I just took some strips of that washi tape and stuck them down onto this is one of those magazine pages, and then I took a little paintbrush with some black paint and just kind of made lines in between. There's sometimes a little gap because I don't bother trying to get them on straight. And then I put some horizontal lines where my scraps of tape met. I tried to make sure that my seams were staggered and not all lined up. And I trimmed around the outside, and I think this would make a really cool book cover. Oh, I glued just one of my other papers onto the back, so it'd be double-sided. But, okay. Is that not fabulous? I just think it's fabulous. I would love a journal made out of this. In fact, I might just make one out of this. No, I'm going to make several because these are really awesome. And I've sealed it. I think I put 2 coats of just plain old Mod Podge matte finish, just to seal it really good because you don't want your little edges to start peeling up. And I might even go around and do these edges again. In fact, they need to be finished off. See, I trimmed around, and you can see the white. Not good. I don't like that white edge, so I will go around with maybe a black, like a gelato or an oil pastel or something, and cover that so it doesn't show. And then glue it down really good to make sure it doesn't peel. But there's one idea for something to do with your painted drop paper washi tapes, and who knows what else we can come up with. Okay, that's all I have. Now I've got to get busy and get that room cleaned up because I will have children sleeping in that bed, and I would really hate for them to roll over and find a bookbinding needle or my pokey tool or something like that. So got to get busy. That's it.